World title in everyone's imagination. That's the heavyweight champ. You were here. Everyone else was here. But since then, the feeling has been Joshua makes all this money fighting anyway, 30 million pounds, whatever it is. Why should he take 40 or 50 to fight Wilder when he's making against anybody? He can make 30, 40 million pounds, whatever it is.
No fantasy contracts, just reality. You know, bringing our worth to the table and bargaining and negotiating what we're worth and making this fight happen.
Which mentality do you come in with? I ask because when you were slick, to me that looked like a better fighter. But maybe this is the kind of fight where you just need to impose your strength.
Anthony Joshua's calm confidence stood out as he sat with Max Kellerman ahead of the Jake Paul showdown, a matchup fueling excitement among purists and casual fans alike. Joshua went beyond strategy, opening up about pressure, legacy, and the spectacle surrounding the fight. As Kellerman pressed for deeper insight, Joshua addressed critics, the stakes, and the real motivations behind facing one of boxing's most polarizing modern figures.
Heavyweight champion of the world, or a heavyweight champion of the world, you're an undefeated Olympic super heavyweight gold medalist, you're entering your physical prime, and you put 100,000 people in Wembley. So I get your argument. I have the economic clout. He's not coming in as partners. I should get a bigger slice of the pie. Let's have a realistic negotiation.
A realistic conversation.
Kellerman, known for mixing sharp analysis with theatrical skepticism, quickly focused on the bigger narrative. He called the bout one of the strangest heavyweight matchups ever, a former world champion versus an internet entertainer. Why is this fight even happening? It's the question fans have asked since day one. Joshua's measured response set the tone for the entire conversation.
The way you beat a guy like that, you're not going to outbox him. If you're waiting on him and he's initiating and he's feinting you into counters and then he's countering the counter, you're going to lose that fight.
When asked what he respects most about Jake Paul, Joshua answered calmly. He's bringing new eyes to boxing. He noted that despite having no amateur background, Paul has thrown himself into the deep end and embraced pressure. Joshua said Paul's enthusiasm and willingness to take big risks helps spotlight the sport and draw in a wider audience, something he believes benefits boxing overall.
Fighting Jake Paul, does he remind you of any guy that you fought before? Is this a unique situation that you've never come across?
Very unique situation I've never come across, but treating with the same respect that I give all my competition.
So you got the mental fortitude, he's got the mental fortitude. But what's the one best thing that you pride Jake Paul of having that maybe you haven't seen in other competition you faced so far?
From a physical aspect, I couldn't even mention it at the minute. But from a mental aspect, he offered me to fight. Normally I'm offering people fights. He's told me, come and fight. So he believes in himself.
What does the word legacy mean to you, AJ?
Legacy, what does it mean? This is what I was actually asking someone. What does legacy mean? I don't even know. I don't actually know what it means.
The size gap has become a major talking point, and for good reason. Jake Paul may look strong in his own divisions, but standing beside Anthony Joshua creates a true David versus Goliath moment. Joshua towers over him, his physique shaped by years as a natural heavyweight. Even with added muscle, Paul simply can't match the size, presence, or physical maturity of someone built to face elite heavyweights.
Jake Paul versus AJ, as though Jake Paul is the bigger in this equation. Not for me. Maybe for MVP, Nikisa, Jake Paul, but not for me. I've kind of marked it or titled it David versus Goliath just because of the size difference. Like, Jake Paul's a big guy. He is. He's 6'1", 220, probably fights around, the 200-pound mark. AJ is an enormous guy. Like, he's a big, big unit. And I think Jake realized that when they came face to face. I don't know if that's the first time they've ever come that close. I'm sure they've met behind the scenes, but I think there was a realization from Jake Paul, like, fuck, this is a big dude. It's a very, very big dude who isn't coming to play. Like, there was no play with AJ. That was a press conference that almost sounded like AJ versus someone in the top 10, where AJ's taking it seriously. He's answering the questions direct that Ariel's throwing him. There was no, yeah, we're here to kind of fuck around. This is going to be easy. Give me my money. Let me run back to the UK. This was AJ's like, no, we're taking this seriously. And that ain't a good thing for Jake Paul. It isn't. And AJ is that guy anyway. Like, I would never doubt that AJ would take this seriously. But for Jake Paul, I do wonder if realization is kicking in, or maybe he is just that delusional where he doesn't care. I do. And I've been sort of corrected by a few people who maybe know better, but I do think the Americans don't credit or rate AJ. I do think there's a bit of that. I remember when AJ did the rounds prior to the Ruiz fight, and there were a few people like, yeah, you're not that good. This was prior to him getting beat by Ruiz.
Nikisa Badarian, CEO of Most Valuable Promotions, told Sky Sports the December 19 clash between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua is being positioned as a major global event. He admitted Joshua holds far more experience, but said Paul's delusional confidence could be the unpredictable X factor. Badarian also revealed the fight was fast-tracked, originally set for 2026, but pushed forward after Paul insisted on making it happen now.
Will there be a limit for Joshua?
So there's a lot of discussion around the weight. Joshua fought Usyk twice. Both of those times, Usyk was 221 pounds. Joshua was 240 to 245. When Jake fought Mike Tyson last year, 227 pounds. I expect Jake will come in anywhere between 225 and 230, and Anthony Joshua has a weight limit of 245 pounds.
There will be those, as you're aware, that will look at it and criticise this fight. There already have been, haven't there? They'll say it's a real mismatch. What would you say to them? Are we going to be watching sport at its purest?
I would say it's much less of a mismatch than what you saw with AJ and Francis Ngannou, who a massive man, but relatively no boxing experience. I would say it's much less of a mismatch than AJ's 9th or 10th fight against guys who've been knocked out 20 to 25 times. Given AJ's pedigree, Jake is built for this. Jake is built for the big moments. So do I think it's dangerous for Jake Paul? Absolutely. Do I think it's also dangerous for Anthony Joshua?
Alexander Usyk dismissed the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul matchup as completely one-sided. He compared Joshua to a Rolls-Royce and Paul to a Fiat, saying the two aren't remotely comparable. Usyk argued the gap lies in fundamentals, experience, and physical preparation. In his view, Paul is putting himself in real danger by stepping in with a seasoned heavyweight like Joshua.